All right, so we're looking at, I'm over here for a minute, the caged string shapes. We start with 7 root 2, then we go to 3 4 5, then we go to 6 7 root, then we go to 2 3 4. Now we're going to warp up for that 5 6. You know, although with 2 3 4 down here in P4, it would be right on top. That was the first thing I learned, that 7L. Remember 7L? That's the first thing I learned about pentatonic scale. So these are the cage string shapes. These are the modal string shapes. Now what happens with P5 tuning? So that's P4 tuning. With the P5 tuning stack now, we don't have to go to the 12 key just yet, because that has 12 keys is obviously more difficult than looking at the modal. I'm going to have to get over here again. So the modal, all we're doing is adding one modal and they're interlocked. So 4 5 6 is going to be interlocked with 5 6 7. Okay, and these are really from the P4 guitar string shapes. We're just adding one string shape, overlapping them. In RED is RE string shape, which is the extra long, the Ionian here. There's the Lydian string shape 4 5 6, and then the Mixolydian 5 6 7. RE is the Ionian string shape root 2 3, and then D is the Dorian string shape 2 3 4. So they're together. So we linked them together. Here's the Mixolydian with the Aeolian. Sounds like olive oil. I've been watching too many olive oil films. I mean, that kind. Not Popeye. So we got 6 7 root, and then we have Dorian into Phrygian 3 4 5. Dorian. Okay, so those are the modal string shapes. And then we have the double cage shorts in P5. So we have the ED. We're going to go full double cage shorts. So remember, where did we get this? If you could still see this, we got it from over here, right? Right here. Here's your P4 guitar short string shapes. Okay, so this is a double cage short, caged, pentatonic, same thing, backwards. D, E, G, A, C, pentatonic. D, E, G, A, C, pentatonic scale going up. Cage going down. C, A, G, E, D. C, A, G, E, D. Coined in the key of C. Coined. Defined. Expressed. Anyway, so the double cage shorts up on the right here. So we got an ED here, 7 root 2. Now notice the bottom string, any one string is the same as guitar. It's just the interval between the strings is different. So 7 root 2, and then 2 3 4. Notice they're longer because we're only interlocking one note, the 2. And then we have 5 6 is the short, and then 6 7 root. Notice we're not going up. As we go up, we're not going up because everything's backwards in P5, backwards from P4, not backwards from your best day. 2 3 4 3 4 5. So we have opposite information there. It's very useful, very helpful once you get used to it. Even the chords are upside down, but they're upside down of the P4, perfect P4 tuning, so everything looks like an E chord upside down. Okay, and C chord, looks different on the top. You don't have that D shape anymore. It's a C chord into a D, into a little D chord on top on guitar. So that's it. This is the double shorts, right? 6/7 root Aeolian into Locrian here, 7 root 2, 6/7 root, 7 root 2. So they have to be long enough to count. So 6/7 root 2 goes to 3, 3, 4, 5, and then 5/6 short here goes to 7. Okay, 7 goes to 7 root 2, 2, 3, 4 goes up to 5, 4 goes up to 5. It has to count. So that's the background. When we put these two on top of one another, you might say, so where do they go? Right here, here's ED. All right, I'm going to put me over here now, try to get back over here. Here's the ED string shape, 7 root 2, 3, 4, right? So that starts the double cage shorts, and look what happened. They count right up. This is why I put 2 on the bottom and not root, because I wanted to separate these out. Remember, this 2 here just shows that the whole thing goes in a circle again, right? These are the keys that you would be playing in if we had a fret nut that was like this. I'm going to have to adjust the thickness of that because it's blocking, and we want to get a nice color. Okay, it is a fret nut, but we want to get an easier color to work with, say yellow, and then also its thickness. I thought it was so thick. That was the thickness icon. The thickness icon for line should be around there somewhere. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. Okay, well, we'll just, let's see if we can zoom in here a little bit. We'll go to cursor mode for a moment. Oh, there's the thickness. There's the thickness. Line width. Okay, uncursor mode. Oh. Alright. One more time. We'll go to line thickness. Looks like we're kind of, something went wrong here. We don't have our colors. Paint isn't open. Okay, so anyway, that's the first time that's ever happened. This would be our fret nut here. Okay, and if I get it into cursor mode where we can make this bigger, then the fret nut would be right there. Now you can see it. So you can see sometimes the graphics is distracting from what you're trying to find out with music. So that would be that is the traveling fret nut there. And we have the double cage shorts stacked on top of the double modals. When you do that, then you get all 12 keys if the lowest playable note of each cage. So it's either like a conveyor belt or a capo, okay? Or you can use the open string. So here, this is a C note. So the whole thing can be done with a C note. Because as you know, C is, we look at the dot scale, C is the third of E flat, okay, that kind of thing. But the dot scale is actually A flat. So C is the third of A flat, C is the second of B flat, root of C, C is the seventh of D flat, the sixth of E flat, the fifth of F, the fourth of G, and once again the third of A flat, and then it's related all